Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestle Plug podcast. It's time for the State Wrestling Address. It's a little bit late, but it is just in time for the holiday season. We're going to review Holiday Bash by AEW Dynamite. We're going to have a look at the pitiful offering of news, and then we're probably going to spend about an hour fucking around, because honestly, that's going to take half an hour max. Ladies and gentlemen, I am, of course, the Egyptian Death Machine, the videographer, referee, wrestler, MC, commentator, and now apparently a promotion owner. Hooray! All this in professional wrestling. Joining me to discuss the wrestling news and also to just generally annoy the shit out of you for the next hour and a half and hopefully distract you from the terrible season that is Christmas is the man who puts the wood in Bollywood, Tanvir.
Hi.
Thanks for coming, pal. And
thank you for having me.
And the man that can be found on many the side of a milk carton in Ontario. He is, of course, the man who drowns in Pussy Lake, the Duke of Diabetes, the Maple Leaf Magician, the man with more insulin and more promo skills than Kenny Omega could ever wish to have in his life. And he cleans up a damn sight better than that gimp. He is, of course, Kyle, the Canadian Crusher Wilkinson.
I'm just going to stop reminding people that geographically Pussy Lake is very far away from me. And just admit that I drown in it every day.
Not far enough.
I bet your D&D character does.
From Pussy Lake.
Like if I ever became a wrestler, that would be where I go myself.
From Pussy Lake.
You know, if Cam was here, the first thing he'd say is, "Yo, Kyle, do you celebrate Christmas? Because Canadians are like Muslims." Because he's dumb as fuck.
Damn kids and their glass candy.
Her bloody kids and your Christmases and your holidays in the tree for this. Right. Wrestling news. There ain't much, if I'm being honest. How about a shout out to our wonderful friend, the Great O'Khan, who is the Pro British Heavyweight Championship. How about that?
Legend. The king.
That's literally all I got. Great O'Khan is the Rev Pro Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations. He obviously Ricky Knight Jr. the last didn't defend his title, so he was replaced by the legend that is his brother or his dad or his uncle or something, Zach Zodiac, and he faced Great O'Khan, and Great O'Khan captured the Revolution Pro Wrestling British Heavyweight Championship.
I have a piece of news that I feel I should speak about because I've just seen it.
Oh, is it Indian based then?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
The WWE India show for January has unfortunately been postponed. There was going to be an Indian show in Jan.
Any particular reason why?
I'm trying to read. Let's see.
We could be here a while.
Sounds very much like Tanvir. Go on.
It's two. So Sony. What the fuck?
Fucking. This is why I am the host.
Yeah. It's
he gives it all this about who he wants on the podcast. He interrupts me every 5 fucking minutes. But he can't.
I don't want him. It's just the AEW.
The audacity.
I know. He even interrupted me when I was talking about how he interrupts me.
I'm sorry.
It's a riot. Come on in, Tanvir. Get to it.
It's there's no specific reason. They just said that it's postponed. I think just because storyline wise.
All right, shortage of curry. Moving on. It's a joke, by the way. Yeah, no, that is a shame actually, because WWE's potential in India could be massive, but I mean, the fact that it's postponed doesn't really bode well for their commercial success over there. I mean, you would think that regardless of how on short notice they put on a show, that they would get massive amounts of interest. So that speaks volumes, really, doesn't it?
Well, they should have taken the title off Jinder then.
Oh, I found the reason. It's because
fucking some top journalistic behavior, isn't it?
Sorry,
Get on with it.
The TV partner called Sony 6 is currently doing a merger with another company in India, so they're going to wait till the merger's completed and then they're going to do the show. So it's expected to now be in April, the India show.
Fair enough. 1 week after Sasha Banks reportedly was planning an appearance at Wrestle Kingdom 17, AEW returns to Los Angeles for AEW Dynamite on January the 11th with an open spot for a possible surprise return or debut. After defeating Britt Baker at Full Gear last month, Saraya now pivots to tag team action. She must recruit a partner to do battle by her side as they take on Baker and current AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter. While the identity of Saraya's partner remains a mystery at this time, speculation has pinpointed Banks as an option, as Saraya and Banks have a memorable history together from their time in WWE. Dave Meltzer believes they'd push the Los Angeles match more each week before finally unveiling the true identity of Soraya's partner. That is, of course, if Banks is indeed booked. Sasha Banks in AEW, yay or nay?
No.
Nay, because they have a booking issue.
Just a small one. Yeah, we're about to talk about Dynamite because it was, well, frankly, shit, in my opinion. No, absolutely not. Sasha Banks, yeah, it's good for initial business. I can understand why. So apparently a lot of reports have come out and WWE suggested basically Sasha Banks in negotiations with WWE wanted money similar to Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. And their argument to this was, we don't see you being a top star in 5 years' time and being on top and being a mainstream level talent on the same level as them. Therefore, we're not going to offer you the same amount of money. So Sasha Banks essentially said, all right, fuck you. I'm going to test the waters and see what else is out there. First, I mean, do we agree with WWE's assessment there that she's not as big a deal as Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch?
It's because they haven't built her up the same way.
That's the reason. They haven't built her up the same way. She's got the offers because, I mean, she was in The Mandalorian season 2 and she's been doing other outside projects. But I think on TV, she wasn't built the same way that a Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch was.
Well, think about it. Like, there was that stereotype that every time Sasha won a title, she'd lose it in her first event. And it happened 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
playing devil's advocate, she does tend to miss a lot of TV time, whether it be through mental health or injury. Not saying that, that's her fault, but those are things that if you're looking at it from a business aspect, you might be sitting there thinking, that being, but then I know exactly what people say to that argument. Well, Becky Lynch had a year out because she was pregnant. Seems a little bit different from getting an injury.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I would
That's a
argue
lifestyle choice.
It's definitely a mental injury, at least. But it's that thing of, I hate children. Get over it. It's one of those things where, you can play mental gymnastics with it. I just think that Sasha Banks is suited better to WWE because it's a more sports entertainment-based product. If she was a top quality indie-rific wrestler with the same charisma that she already has, then I would probably say, well, yeah, absolutely. But, this is the other thing as well. How much do we trust AEW to book Sasha Banks properly? They have a history, a proven record of not pushing women the correct way. And people will say, yeah, well, this week on Dynamite, they had a women's main event. Yeah, they have one a year. Good for them.
Can I give the perfect example of why, like, Sasha Banks wouldn't work in AEW?
Why are you asking for permission?
Oh, sorry. It's like, look at Ruby Riott. What has she done?
Well, I mean, she got her nose broken by Taynara Conti. That didn't help.
Yeah.
She almost got her neck broken at the same time, if I remember correctly. I don't watch fuckboy wrestling, so I'm not sure. But
yeah, they haven't done anything
FBW.
substantial.
That's Cam's new
Fuckboy
promotion.
wrestling.
Fuckboy. That's
Can we just
Cam's
rename
promotion.
WrestlePlug Pro to Fuckboy Wrestling? And just
Cam
go
was the
all
first
in
champ.
It would just be, Cameron would be the only champ. And we wouldn't be allowed to have anyone else. Cruz would be his backup. Cruz would be his butler at best, though, wouldn't he? Like, he's not a main event talent. Look at him, he's a gimp.
Would Victor Logan be his cuck?
Yes, yeah. Either that or he'd wear a skirt and end up being mummy. Have you seen, by the way, his chest hair that he shaved? He shaved a Christmas tree into his chest.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Kyle Wilkinson's reaction. I don't like fun.
All right.
That is phenomenal. That's why we have Kyle Wilkinson on here, because he makes me look jolly. Yeah. It's not that far from the truth. No, I mean, for me, Sasha Banks works better in WWE. If she goes to AEW and they make her a big star and she wins the championship and she holds it for a year or whatever, cool, prove me wrong. But until I see them actually do that with anyone who's capable, and they do have some incredibly capable women's talents on their roster, well, I beg to differ. I absolutely beg to differ. Right, what else have we got here? Oh, apparently, CM Punk hasn't appeared on AEW TV since the All Out Fallout, as we all know, although his fuckboy opponents certainly have. Dax Harwood of FTR, who's in a short-lived faction with Punk known as CM FTR. Okay. Recently posted a couple of photos with him, suggesting that their friendship is still strong. Harwood isn't the only star who wants to see Punk back in AEW, though, as Danhausen responded with a GIF that said yes when a Twitter user asked if he misses him. apparently more and more talents are starting to kind of come to the forefront in AEW and saying, yo, CM Punk was really good to us and we enjoyed having him around. Is there any, I mean, obviously it's a stretch, but do we think that CM Punk could potentially still be coming back to AEW at some point, or is he officially done, or is it just one big fat work?
I mean, TK probably wank himself raw to get CM Punk back in there. He's such a fucking
I don't think he would, because he's very,
know.
very much obsessed with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, to the point where CM Punk has disappeared from television and the company entirely, whereas Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have been rewarded by coming back and being in a highly prominent rivalry with Death Triangle for the Trios titles, which we're going to discuss in a minute. I cannot wait to upset all the fucking heavy AEW marks over that match.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming, Tanvir.
Well, I mean,
That's all right.
That's all.
I'm just happy to be here.
Wake up, Tanvir. It's fucking.
it is.
This is the earliest we've ever recorded the State of Wrestling address, and Tammy's like,
It's hard for me to honestly have opinions because I don't watch this shit. I just know what I remember about Tony Khan being a little dickhead. I don't care to see Punk. Was it cool to see him come back to wrestling in general? Sure. I remember being a year and a half ago, whatever it was. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess. And then AEW didn't get any better for his time there, I don't think.
It hasn't. I just feel that AEW's just kind of it's hard to say because Punk didn't really add anything, to be honest. He didn't add too much. And so it then comes to this thing of, is it more hassle to keep him on and bring him back than it is to just let him be?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much else I want to say at this point. It's been done to death, hasn't it? It's been spoken about to death as well. And at this point, I just don't give a shit. I'm not enjoying AEW's television for the most part. I don't understand why anyone, if this is all legitimate, and this did, there was a legitimate fight, and this isn't some weird fucking backwards storyline angle or whatever, I don't see how anyone with a brain would align themselves with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. I really don't, judging from what we have, there. I'd love somebody to message me and have a serious debate about it without just slinging abuse in my inbox. That's a totally different story. Luckily for us, Adam Wessex isn't here. Otherwise, the next hour of the podcast would be taken up with trying to explain how AEW's women's division is better than WWE's, and then me laughing hysterically in his face because he's an idiot. Matt Riddle reportedly written off the WWE TV, as we've seen, so that he could attend rehab after failing 2 drug tests. This has raised questions about WWE's substance abuse and drug testing policy, which was established in 2006. Despite the policy having a 3 strikes and you're out system, which hands out 30 and 60-day suspensions for the first 2 and termination for the 3rd, there have been no indications that Riddle was ever suspended. WWE says that his storyline injury will keep him out for less than 60 days. Bodyslam.net's original report never mentioned a suspension, and WWE never announced one, despite Section 15A of the policy saying that's how it works. When he tested positive for what he tested positive for hasn't been reported either, though it can't be cannabis, as the company has relaxed its rules on marijuana use, which is good news. But very, very good news indeed. And obviously that's something that Kyle Wilkinson would approve of, because he has a whopping great jar of weed at his disposal at all times. Probably
everything's better with a bag of weed.
Yeah, probably why he's never on this fucking podcast, because he's blitzed out of his mind. In response to an assumption that Riddle had 2 strikes as the system was understood, Wrestling Observer newsletter editor Dave Meltzer posted on his subscribers only message board. Oh god, that must be a cesspool of virginity. They've changed that rule, he wrote. It's because a couple of key people have had 2 suspensions or are in a wrestling war, plus somebody with 2 could intentionally fail a test to get out of their contract. That's the line that interests me. Tanvir, if you were in WWE and you had 2 suspensions on tap for drug abuse, would you deliberately have a 3rd to get out your contract?
Ooh, I mean, weed is weed.
Yeah, but weed isn't something that would get you a strike. So you'd have to do something hard, like meth.
Oh, Jesus.
You're from Southall, right? Which is highly regarded as the heroin capital of London. Would you shoot yourself in between your toes with the explicit intention of getting fired from Wrestle Plug Pro?
No, I think what put me off meth was after seeing Breaking Bad, what it done to Jane. So I wouldn't do it to deliberately get out of a job.
Can I ask you to please talk about the rumors that are swirling at the moment that apparently you have been abusing masala? I've been told, I have it on good authority due to our games nights and other
masala chai,
highly suspicious forms of journalism, that you apparently huff masala in your spare time.
People don't know about chaiwala. You go to chaiwala, you get yourself masala chai. That's what it is. You get yourself a cup of masala chai.
I have no idea what's going on here. Kyle Wilkinson looks offended by the whole premise.
I mean, I can't imagine wanting to. I can't think of a job so bad that I would do some stupid hard drug once to get
even your current job.
No.
What about being a horrible dungeon master to a bunch of?
Well, if you're a bad DM, you need to kill yourself. Get good or die.
They roll with dictatorship though, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, a DM's word is law. Like they're literally playing God.
Kyle,
I think all DMs have a God complex to some extent, myself included.
Kyle, does your D&D character get more action than you?
No, one of them's a cleric. One of them is a wizard. So Buck's.
Are we implying that religious individuals don't get action? Is that what we're saying? Because the Catholic Church would severely disagree with this.
It depends on the action you're looking for.
Yeah, that's probably Tanvir's field, if we're being honest.
Have you seen the film Spotlight? That's a good film.
I have not. No. What's that?
It's about the Catholic Church, and yeah,
you can definitely tell we're struggling for news here. It's about the Catholic Church, and what else is it? Is it all about the refreshingly honest take of the Catholic Church and their?
It's based on a true story, and it's about like all the churches in America that kind of got outed for being pedophiles. It's got Michael Keaton, Mark Ruffalo. It's a really good film. It's on Netflix now. Really good film. I think it got the Oscar for Best Picture. It might have been.
'Tis the season. You could watch Christmas movies, or you could watch the Catholic Church ram raiding their way through every choir boy in the house. Yeah, no, I'm all right. I think I'm depressed enough. And I don't really... Other news, there's not really a great deal, if I'm being honest, other than the fact that I actually bothered to watch AEW Dynamite this week. I get a lot of people saying to me, I always reviewing Raw and SmackDown, but you never review Dynamite. Why do you hate AEW so much? So I thought I'll watch it, and if it's any good, I'll review it. And the fact there's no review out would suggest that I did not enjoy it. So, Tanvir, have you seen AEW Dynamite? Because I know for a fact that Carl has not.
I read up about it, and and I saw some clips. To give one thing away, the only highlight was the whole Swerve stuff.
That was not a highlight.
No,
I mean, Rick Ross saying to Keith Lee, but that's the only thing I can say, to be honest.
Right, so...
Which proves how shit it was.
Basically, what this is for Adam Wessex to essentially have a giant fucking prolapse as he listens to me now review AEW Dynamite. Now, AEW Dynamite, when I watched it, opened up very nicely. It started off with Ricky Starks in the ring, who is a mega star. Could be the next big thing. Cut a great promo, talked about how he lost to MJF, but if he ever gets another chance, he will be the next AEW World Champion. Talked about, you know what? If I have to cut my way through the roster to get another opportunity, line him up and I'll knock him out. Guess who interrupted him, Kyle Wilkinson?
Was it MJF?
No, it was Chris Jericho.
Then I care even less. Go on.
Yeah, Chris Jericho with some guy I've never seen, and Sammy Guevara, who was severely underdressed. Chris Jericho comes out and says, you know what, Ricky Starks, I'm impressed by what I've seen of you. You should join the Jericho Appreciation Society. At which point, Ricky Starks tells him to suck his dick, which I very much appreciated, and also called them a load of jazz holes, which I also appreciated. Arguably, the best promo of what was essentially 17 different promo segments on this 2-hour wrestling show. So Ricky Starks will be embroiled in a rivalry with Chris Jericho for the next few weeks. What do we think about that, gentlemen?
I don't care.
I
Fucking bit of
remember.
energy, boys. Come on.
It's good. It's gonna be another one of the Jericho feuds where it's gonna go on way too fucking long and nobody's gonna benefit from it. That's all it's gonna be.
What do we think about this conspiracy theory that Chris Jericho has been deliberately attaching himself to all of the big young stars and essentially destroying whatever he can of their rub because he wants to remain as the most relevant heel in the company?
That's what it comes across as. It may not be from his perspective, but as a viewer, that's what it comes across as. Of like, oh, I need Daniel Garcia. Oh, I need Sammy Guevara. Oh, I need Anna Jay so that I can stay relevant.
I mean, we all need Anna Jay to stay relevant. She is an incredibly attractive lady, but I don't necessarily think that's true. I mean, I don't watch it enough, so I don't know if I can enough. I don't watch it at all.
It's all right.
I would like to believe not. I would like to believe he's been wrestling, for over 30 years now. I'd like to believe at this point in his career he is actually trying to get the young guys over. But
even though he buried MJF for the predominant amount of time.
Yeah, I can't say that for realsies,
That's fair. The highlight of this promo has to be that Ricky Starks basically said, because for context, the week before, Chris Jericho lost to a wrestler called Action Andretti. Who knows?
I heard about this. I heard about this. It was all over Twitter. People were losing their fucking minds. I'm like, this is like their 1, 2, 3 Kid Razor Ramon moment. Like,
that's kind of what it comes across as.
The biggest upset of the decade is what AEW are calling it.
I mean, that's no more hyperbole than Edge and Randy Orton having the best wrestling match ever. So,
I mean, it is Edge and Randy Orton, so I'm inclined to believe.
We're only 2 years into this decade. How can it be the fucking biggest upset?
That's exactly why it is the biggest upset, because no doubt in the next 8 years there will be much more intriguing upsets.
AEW will collapse.
Yeah, I mean, the highlight of this was Ricky Starks, who verbally eviscerated Chris Jericho. For anyone who's seen it, he said, "I really appreciate the fact that you are constantly evolving, Chris. You used to look like an air fryer. Now you look like a single father on his 5th divorce." And then also referred to the Jericho Appreciation Society. Said the J in JAS should stand for jobber, which of course then incited a huge jobber chant from the crowd. Ricky Starks absolutely fucking killed it. And then the man whose gimmick is that he's in love with his hat, Jake Hager, jumped Ricky Starks from behind, who was then saved by none other than Action Andretti, who chased off the entire Jericho Appreciation Society. So Ricky Starks and Action Andretti versus the rest of the Jericho Appreciation Society going forward.
I'm going to quote you, sir. The fucking state of it.
Jake Hager's gimmick is that he loves his bucket hat. This is legitimately a thing. His gimmick now is that he's obsessed with his hat. If people take it off or put it on themselves or throw it on the floor, stamp on everything, he loses his temper and beats them up. That's his gimmick.
He can get in the bucket and I'll fucking kick it.
Do you remember when he was like trying to be an MMA guy?
Oh yeah.
And now he's a hat guy.
At least the thing with the MMA thing, he'd done Bellator and other things, so there was some legitimacy to it, and you're like, oh, okay, this guy could actually fight and mess you up. This just makes no sense.
It's one of those things where I enjoyed the promo segment, and if that had been it, and they just had the one match and then they move on, cool. What they should do, I believe Jericho and Ricky Starks will face each other either next week or the week after, something like that. If Ricky Starks just picks up a big win, goes over him, and then moves on to other things, great. But it's going to take a while because the Jericho Appreciation Society are just a bunch of goobers. I really appreciate the fact Chris Jericho's lost weight. He looks in great condition, but at the same time, I don't care. It's time for you to move out of the way, mate. It just feels that way. It feels like it's time. And to be honest, I don't feel like the quality of his matches is any good anymore. They're okay, but they're not at a main event level. Not when you look at the guys in this company who can produce main event level matches. Then we had match number. Sorry.
Oh God, there's more.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more. That was literally the first 8 minutes of the show. Then we had match number 5 in the best of 7 series to determine the Trios champions. We had a no disqualification street fight between Death Triangle and the Elite. So, Death Triangle are currently 3-1 up. Can anyone take an incredible guess as to who won this?
It's the Elite, wasn't it?
The elitist.
So this is where I upset people a lot. This match was fucking garbage. And bearing in mind, this is a match that involved the Lucha Brothers and Pac. That really pisses me off. So this match at certain points had a Christmas tree inserted into it, at which point the members of the Elite were whipped into said Christmas tree. Also, we had in the middle of the match a face-off of sorts between Brandon Cutler, dressed as a Christmas elf, and Alex Abrahantes, or whatever his name is, the manager for Lucha Brothers. Okay, he's a good talker. I quite like him, actually. And he sprayed hairspray in Alex Abrahantes' face before getting super kicked by Pentagon. And also the match. So who likes psychology in their wrestling matches? Because you might want to look away now. So the end of this match. So basically, the premise going into this match, right? And I have seen what's been going on in the other matches. So Death Triangle keep cheating by using a ring hammer, you know, the timekeeper's hammer. So they keep cheating by hitting members of the Elite over the head and pinning them. That's been the story. Every single match that I've seen, somebody gets a sneaky pinfall with this, heel shenanigans. So Kenny Omega gets hit in the head with a hammer after he's been beaten the shit off and kicks out of 2, which immediately nullifies that. Then he's put into a crossface of sorts with barbed wire by Pac. He doesn't tap and somehow is able to overcome all of this and pin Rey Fenix, I believe, for the win.
What the fuck?
Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous from a psychological standpoint. There was no psychology to this match. It was a gymnastics fest for half of it. It was a clusterfuck. And then to add insult to injury, Death Triangle are so infuriated that they just randomly beat them up and cause severe blood and bleeding, at least on one of the Young Bucks, by using the barbed wire. The barbed wire, I believe the barbed wire broom, which was inserted by Kenny Omega, because cleaner. Yeah, this whole thing from start to finish was appalling. But the reason I bring up the blood is because you would think on a 2-hour broadcast on a standard wrestling show that if somebody bled, that would probably be the only real severe gimmick when it comes to assaulting someone, wouldn't you? However, I've got good news for you. Before we get onto that, however, how about this whole best of 7 series for the trios titles?
Makes no sense. It really makes no sense.
It's solely so the Elite can get themselves over even more.
Oh, easy. They're gonna. Were they down 3-0 at one point?
They were down 3-1. Yeah, I think they pulled it back to 2-1. Then Death Triangle went up 3-1. So now it's down.
So they're just going to essentially
Death Triangle. Next week it'll be a trios match, and then if needs be, there will be match number 7, which obviously there will be the week after that.
Essentially, it's going to be like a reverse sweep.
Pretty much.
The Elite are going to end up winning this.
Get it, Kenny Omega with a sweep.
Because next week supposedly Falls Count Anywhere, and then the week after is January 4th, where Kenny's going to be facing Ospreay at the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was about the first 20 to 25 minutes of the show.
The booking of that
still an hour and a half.
Oh,
the booking of that match is people shit on the way WWE used to book back in the day, but this is like SummerSlam 2010 when the Nexus should have won, and then they didn't.
Yeah,
like Cena gets DDT'd on the floor, he gets hit by like the 450 or whatever, and then just wins. Cena wins, lol. Elite wins, lol. See the parallels, people.
By the way, the Young Bucks won with what I believe is the Meltzer driver. Oh, but which, by the way, they held, I think, Rey Fenix up for the Meltzer driver for an incomparable amount of time before they hit it. It was ridiculous.
I mean, one of the best athletes in the business had to just sit there for like 20 seconds or however long it takes, because I don't know. I don't watch this shit. And this is why.
Big shout out to John Canton, by the way, who did the review for this on TJR Wrestling. Also, big shout out to him for clearly not understanding what smart means, because according to him, the hammer spot for a 2 count was a smart decision. So obviously, John Canton not really has any idea what fucking psychology.
because I haven't seen it, was it just Kenny kicking out, or did someone come in and break it up?
No, he kicked out.
See, that pisses me off. What would have been the smart psychology if one of the Young Bucks broke up the pinfall? Because then it would
Kicked
have been
out of a hammer shot to the face, and then immediately was put in a submission move for a notable amount of time by Pac involving barbed wire and didn't tap out. It's just so overkill. It's ridiculous.
It's just like if someone was in there to break it up or at least do something like that, I would have been like, oh, okay, that makes sense. If it's just Kenny doing that, then it's like Kyle said. It's John Cena. It's Super Kenny.
Absolutely ludicrous. He also did a tribute to Great Muta and did a moonsault holding a dustbin onto one of the members of Death Triangle as well. It was horrible. It was horrible. And what pisses me off is people are going to say, people are going to try and defend this. Even the commentators were taking the piss. One of the lines, I shit you not, was when the Young Bucks were being Irish whipped into a Christmas tree, was the unforgiving artificial pine needles.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Also, by the way, AEW's commentary, some of the worst in professional wrestling by a margin. And ironically enough, that doesn't include Taz, who is excellent.
I hate this company.
So this match finishes with a ridiculously overbooked finish, and then we have the Death Triangle drawing blood from the Elite afterwards. So what would you follow that up with? Well, I'll tell you. Action Andretti is backstage chatting away. It's an interview segment, basically hyping up the fact I beat Chris Jericho last week. It was the biggest upset of the decade. Look at me. I'm the newest thing on the block. He was then attacked by Chris Jericho while he was being distracted by Matt Maynard and Angelo Parker, who I believe were 2.0 in NXT or whatever they were.
Yeah.
So guess what Chris Jericho did to Andretti?
He's a wizard and he threw a fireball.
He threw a fireball in Action Andretti's face. A fireball was used in a backstage promo segment.
The only thing that saved that was Nyla Rose's tweet that I put in the group chat. That was the only thing that saved this.
Truly incredible, about Cyclops basically having the ultimate head from Jean Grey, and that's because she got the screenshot of it with the fireball, and it looks like it's shooting out of his eyes. It's really
so good.
Yeah, that was easily probably the highlight of all of AEW this week was Nyla Rose's fantastic tweet. That was something. Oh, by the way, before that, we also had a backstage promo with MJF talking about how much he hates Bryan Danielson because Bryan Danielson chased him off after he beat Ricky Starks, and he's infuriated. So that means we've already had 3 promo segments, one involving a fireball, and we've had a match involving a Christmas tree. So it's time for another promo. Bryan Danielson is in the ring with Renee Paquette and essentially spends 5 minutes trying to explain away why he still loves William Regal and how the storyline has evolved from William Regal turned on them to actually William Regal did that because he wanted to teach them a lesson about how anyone at any point can turn on them in the hope that it would bring them together more. So Bryan Danielson comes out and says, I don't think that Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley will ever forgive William Regal, but for me, he's a father figure. So that seems fine, does it? No.
I don't mind it. It kind of makes sense in a way.
It doesn't make sense. It's a terrible they're doing mental gymnastics to try and get away from the fact that William Regal basically got out of his contract, which apparently had an opt-out. That was part of the news. Yeah. And now he's gone back to WWE because he wants to help manage his son's career, which is absolutely fine. Bryan Danielson was then interrupted. Who do you think interrupted Bryan Danielson?
Raggedy bitch.
I don't know.
All Ego, Ethan Page, and Stokely Hathaway.
Remember when All Ego Ethan Page was good? You remember these guys?
Yeah.
Do you remember these guys?
And then he left Josh Alexander, and it all went downhill from there. So he comes out and says basically because Bryan Danielson looks like he's going to be the next contender to MJF's heavyweight title, and he says, why should you get a title shot? Last time I checked, I was in the final 2 of the knockout tournament, which, by the way, he lost to Ricky Starks. And then he was in the final 2 of the Diamond Ring Battle Royale. And, of course, that is his premise for it. Oh, but the killer insult here is that he calls Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, a vegetable man.
Calls him a vegetable man, but then follows it up.
He's vegan, right? Is that what
Yes.
the shot is?
Yeah, that's the gimmick. That's apparently the joke. Daniel Bryan, to be fair, returns fire and says that he didn't quite hear what he said because the crowd were calling them arseholes, and also that he was distracted by the incredible amount of shine from Stokely Hathaway's bald head. At which point, Stokely Hathaway stares at Bryan Danielson and just says, "You raggedy bitch," which I thought was very funny.
It's so good.
Right. By the way, Stokely Hathaway, one of the best mouthpieces in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And here he is as Ethan Page's manager. Really? The man who doesn't need anyone to speak for him.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
You fucking gimps. It pisses me off. So that's another promo segment. And by the way, there was not really anything else from that. The only thing I will say is that Ethan Page said, no, the reason I called you a vegetable man is because if you keep pissing me off, I'm going to turn you into a vegetable. So taking shots at handicapped people as well, apparently. Whatever is what it is. So it's going to be Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, shall I say, versus Ethan Page at some point. I'm sure that match will be absolutely brilliant, but at the same time, this fucking state of it. Time for another promo, backstage promo with John
Christ
Moxley.
almighty.
Why so many promos?
Oh no, trust me, we're just getting started here, pal. So John Moxley's backstage and cuts a promo on Hangman Adam Page. Nothing wrong with this, to be fair. Absolutely fine, short and sweet. Then we have another promo. This time
I'm going to kill myself.
I'm with Kyle.
Then we have a backstage, not even a backstage promo. We have what is essentially a Christmas promo where Samoa Joe sits at home with a Christmas tree behind him and says, "Hi, I just want to wish Wardlow a happy holidays this year." And to be fair, I thought that was fine too. It was about a minute long. It was absolutely fine. Building up the fact that on December the 28th, they are facing each other, I do believe, for the TNT Championship, which of course is now held by Samoa Joe alongside the Ring of Honor Television Championship. So Samoa Joe doing okay. So that's good.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
So that's okay. So it's time for some wrestling. Don't worry though, it's not very long. Hook beat Exodus Prime, who has never wrestled in AEW before, some random guy from the Indies, in about 35 seconds with the red rum submission.
Yeah, who's Hook?
Tazzy's son.
Oh, I know that. But
FTW
who's
World
that?
Champion. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Send Hook apparently.
I thought it was Robin Williams.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, what do you think came after this, boys? It's time for another promo segment. This time, so Big Bill and Lee Moriarty beat up Jungle Boy Jack Perry backstage and choke slammed him into a dumpster. So we are still in hour number 1, and we've had a fireball, a Christmas tree, a barbed wire fucking broom. We've Jesus, and now a choke slam into the dumpster. I'm starting to really get on board with Carl Wilkinson's choice of lifestyle. Ridiculous.
Is that lifestyle killing myself?
Yeah, this is also, by the way, Hook was in the ring while this was happening, and they were basically taunting him. Hook's reaction to this was to casually then stroll backstage. Yeah, keep going, Tanvir, because that's not going to get us fucking taken off the air, is it? So, time for some more wrestling. John Moxley is in action. Carl Wilkinson, I'll give you 20 fucking dollars or whatever you want currency-wise right now if you can tell me who John Moxley faced.
I don't know, Danhausen?
His wife.
Yeah, you know what? It's the right letter, at least. No, it's not his wife. John Moxley faced the less interesting part of Top Flight, Darius Martin, in a singles match,
I couldn't tell you that,
which had quite literally no athleticism whatsoever. The whole idea was that John Moxley had Cesaro at ringside, and of course Dante, I think, is it Dante Martin? He was at ringside. Dante, whatever his name is, the flippy guy. So they were both at ringside. This match was average. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. I didn't get the psychology. Then they tried to actually have some psychology. Problem is, and this is where AEW gets exposed with their wrestling. So Darius Martin basically was trying to go punch for punch with John Moxley. That was the idea. The story here was, I'm not going to let you just beat me up and bully me because you're this big, powerful street fighter. By the way, even though John Moxley and Cesaro haven't forgiven William Regal, they're still wearing Blackpool Combat Club jackets, which they're still a part of, even though literally it's called Blackpool Combat Club because William Regal was from Blackpool. So what you're saying is we hate him, but we still love the gimmick. We still want to be called Blackpool Combat Club, which is fucking dumb and makes no sense. This match was boring, is what it was. Darius Martin did no flippy shit whatsoever. None, which exposed him badly because he looked like an unbelievably boring wrestler. And by the way, he has the charisma of a walnut. Sorry, lads, you're a very talented athlete, but yeah, no, nothing going on here. Stick to tag team wrestling. John Moxley, of course, picks up the win, hitting the Death Rider for the pinfall.
Yeah, nah.
There was no build to this, by the way. Either.
It's just, why are they still called Blackpool Combat Club when Regal's not there? Just change the gimmick name or just get rid of it.
Well, I'll tell you what was next, buddy.
Oh no, I'm reading it, and actually, this one actually sounds pretty fucking cool. And
so there were two videos. One was the hype for the main event, which was for the women's title between Hikaru Shida and Jamie Hayter, which did indeed main event this show. And then we had a video about Powerhouse Hobbs. Again, we're going every week. They're showing the journey of Powerhouse Hobbs. You know, the guy that's never been booked properly at all since he got there. So yeah, about his tough upbringing, saying he was beaten, stabbed, and shot as a child while watching his uncle die of an overdose. Hobbs said they were monsters, but now they have created a monster themselves. He is focused on turning to the next chapter of the Book of Hobbs.
Hobnobs.
You said it was potentially good, and then you just said
it was good. It was good. Sorry, that was a shitty pun. Nah, it sounded cool.
It feels like he's been built okay, and people are trying to see him more as like this sympathetic powerhouse, this guy from the streets. That's cool, but until I actually see him do anything prominent or win at a prominent match or do anything even remotely notable, I do not give a fucking shit.
We've already got like a sympathetic kind of big guy in Eddie Kingston because of how real he is. So
he's not a big guy. I'm sick and tired of people saying Eddie Kingston's a big guy. He's not.
He's not like big, but he's got like the.
Here, please. Like, come on. Look at fucking Wardlow. Look at Samoa Joe. Look at Powerhouse Hobbs. Now look at it. And by the way, I love Eddie Kingston, who, by the way, is still noticeably absent from said show. Then we had a tag team match involving FTR. Of course, this would be amazing, right? Because it's FTR. Obviously.
It's not, is it?
Yeah.
It's not, is it?
Do you know what? Guess who their opponents were?
Was it the Ass Boys? I don't know, man.
Oh my God!
Right.
Oh,
it was the Fun Club. $20 to Kyle Wilkinson, even though I didn't bet it. Fuck it, I'll send him $20 as a Christmas present.
Dude, is it like 20 of my dollars?
Hey, look, that's literally wow. That is. I mean, that would arguably be the entire payday for a year for an entire roster down south in UK wrestling. But that's
there's over like $2,000 in here. I'm saving.
That is a lot of cash.
That's a lot.
Yeah, Carl Wilkinson makes it. He's got a giant wad of cash to his right, and to his left, he has a giant jar of wheat. What? Come on, man.
Kyle the pimp.
And it was so much more entertaining than anything I saw on Dynamite.
Welcome to Canada.
So, two things that Carl Wilkinson will love about this. First of all, the match was bang average. It was given 2.5 stars by TGR Wrestling, which tells you everything you need to know. But get this, Carl Wilkinson, the Gun Club defeated FTR.
What do you mean? That's not real.
It's not real.
FTR, correct me if I'm wrong. So I know they lost the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship to the Briscoes, which was a banger, I'm sure. Are they still IWGP Heavyweight Champions?
By the way, they got outsmarted by the Guns, who cheated to win.
Yeah, not real.
Got
not real.
By yeah. Well,
don't accept that.
So now we need to double down on more promos. So first of all, we had, I kid you not, a rap video involving Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh, and Jeff Jarrett.
Fuck me.
While Sanjay Dutt rapped horribly, might I add. That was a thing. While Jeff Jarrett stands there looking like a 1940s blaxploitation
That
pimp.
just sounds like an advertisement for majority of Bollywood films.
It would look like an advertisement for Viagra is what it did when I saw Jeff Jarrett standing there with a massive chode. Like,
Slap nuts.
absolutely. Yeah, no, to be fair, his Slapnuts t-shirt, by the way, looks very good. I do want that, if nothing else. Then we had the ultimate promo, because what's better than bad rapping with Indians? More things involving cultural appropriation. So Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland talk with Rick Ross. Keith Lee comes down to the ring. He's introduced by Rick Ross, Grammy Award-winning Rick Ross. Did you know that, Kyle Wilkinson? Big fan of Rick Ross.
I don't even know who that is. I know the name, but I don't know who
Imagine
that
if
is.
Keith Lee didn't wrestle and just decided to be a rapper / musician instead. That's what Rick Ross is, essentially. So the idea is that Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland are going to thrash out their differences. No, they're not, because...
Big motherfucker.
So Swerve Strickland comes down and I like Swerve Strickland a lot, big fan. And I like Keith Lee a lot, to be fair. These are the people I like. And I don't dislike Rick Ross, even though the crowd did not give a fucking shit about this guy. So both of these individuals are drawing. Well, I say that. Keith Lee standing there looking like a goober. Swerve Strickland basically says a load of stuff to him. And then guess who attacked Keith Lee from behind, Kyle Wilkinson? Oh, I bet you can't wait for this.
I think I saw it was with Parker Boudreaux, wasn't it?
Parker Boudreaux, formerly of NXT, where he was a colossal failure and had his head shaved and was part of Joe Gacy's faction. He jumped Keith Lee from behind. He was woefully unsuccessful and beaten up. And then a random heavily tattooed man attacked Keith Lee from behind, who I have never seen before. He looked like Post Malone on steroids, because apparently all the raps. Not particularly understanding what the fuck this was all about. Rick Ross said it was Mogul Affiliates, so that's the group name apparently, and Rick Ross aligned himself with Swerve Strickland, Parker Boudreaux, and random steroid man from Post Malone's house. And that is a new faction in a company that doesn't obviously have that many.
No, that you could definitely.
Another one.
So,
Another one.
I hope you're not losing the will to live, because it's still time for another.
Joke's on you, I never had it.
Well, there was a promo to promote AEW Rampage. That was acceptable, I guess. And then finally, mercifully, we get to our main event. Jamie Hayter with Britt Baker and Rebel at ringside defending the AEW Women's Championship against Hikaru Shida or Hikaru.
I'm sure
Shida.
this was awesome. I'm sure this was really good.
It was
Yeah.
excellent. This was great. This was wrestling, and also it was about 20 minutes long. There was
Good.
no bullshit. It was a clean finish. Jamie Hayter beat her with the most violent lariat I have ever seen. Unfortunately, they can't just leave it at that, because that would be too much fun, wouldn't it? Closing the show with a dominant, new, exciting, fresh talent who's your new women's champion. That sounds good. However, we've still got time to have Toni Storm run down and interfere, to only get jumped by Britt Baker and Rebel, and then they all get the save from Saraya, who then comes down as well to make the save and chases them off, leaving 3 women staring down 3 other women as AEW Dynamite, mercifully, thankfully, God willing, goes off the air. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was 2 hours of professional wrestling brought to you by AEW Dynamite. Tanvir, stop doing that. Stop it.
It's over. I don't have to do it.
It's that was so, gentlemen, judging from what you've just heard, and bearing in mind I was the one who had to sit there, and I didn't have to sit there and watch it, but I did, and was, as you can imagine, apoplectically furious by the end, other than the main event, which, well done, ladies. Oh, by the way, funny that your women were easily the most exciting part of the show. Weird that. It's almost like if you actually book them properly, they could get over. And by the way, the crowd gave them a standing ovation at certain points during the match, because they were kicking the shit out of each other. By the way, Hikaru Shida with the shorter hair, looking more trim, that we're coloring. Yes, girl. She looking fly. I mean, obviously, all these ladies.
Shida's amazing.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome, as to be said. She's really grown on. Ironically enough, she's grown on me now that she's not doing anything. Go figure. Yeah. What do you think, boys? AEW Dynamite? Yeah. This Kyle Wilkinson drawing you in to watch Dynamite or Rampage? Yeah.
I've never watched an episode of Rampage because it's on Friday nights at 10 o'clock. So you can gargle my ball sack at my watching wrestling at 10 p.m.
I mean, some people might be inclined. It has to be said.
I mean, the invite's out there. It's been over
Certainly
7
a better
years.
use of my fucking time than watching this steaming pile of shit. By the way, John Canton, obviously a hardcore AEW mark. Nothing wrong with you liking what you like, but your opinions are terrible, sir. So maybe stick to whatever the day job is, because if this is what you do full time, holy cow, you must be homeless.
You know what you could have done? You could have watched Savage Pro 4 times.
Get out. Get out.
Can we
Out.
can we talk?
Out
Can we
now.
no? Can we talk about the fact that Suzuki Goon's no longer a thing?
That what's no longer a thing?
Suzuki Goon. Apparently, they're not.
Yeah, they disbanded today. It was really quite emotional. Zack Sabre Jr. pinning Minoru Suzuki.
Your faces, one faces.
Yeah.
But
Oh, do you know what, boys? I'm gonna brighten your day
Yay!
please do.
with a
Yes,
bit
Daddy
of
Nix.
trivia.
Yes.
Who wants a bit of trivia?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it.
you do. So, Roddy Piper is one of only 9 legends who have appeared on WWE and WCW's biggest shows in the same year. Roddy Piper may never have won a world title, but it's a broad consensus that Hot Rod never needed gold to cement his legacy. Piper has done plenty that only few wrestlers can claim, including being one of only 9 individuals to appear on WWE WrestleMania and WCW Starrcade. No Googling, gentlemen. But for the next few minutes, I will allow you to attempt to name the other 8 individuals involved.
So let's just get the parameters set. It's 8. Did these people never won a world title?
No, they just appeared on both WrestleMania and thing. But some of them may have.
Was it on the same in the same year that they appeared on both?
No, they don't. Have
Okay,
to.
so they just
in
they
their
just
career.
Okay.
So in their
Bret
career,
Hart.
they appeared at WCW Starrcade and WrestleMania. They may have won world championships, they may have not. The fact that Roddy Piper never won a world title is completely inconclusive from this.
But criminal.
trivia.
Okay, so
Bret Hart.
Sting.
So we got 3 because obviously we mentioned Piper already.
I'm assuming Hogan.
Yes.
I'm assuming
Ugh,
Ric
Can't
Flair.
believe this.
Ric Flair, yes.
Savage.
Yep, Savage.
I'm gonna
Savage,
throw it
believe
out.
or not. Savage was actually, I believe, the 3rd man to do so.
Okay.
Yeah, because he jumped to WCW before Hogan did, or just after.
Actually, no, he didn't. Believe it or not, no. Actually, so there's one guy here that I reckon might stump you a little. So far we've got Roddy Piper, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Sting, Ric Flair. That's 5. You need 4 more.
I'm gonna.
Oh no, I said Bret. I think. Yeah, I said Bret Hart.
Oh, so
because I think you said no to Savage and yes to Hart.
No, Savage did appear.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, Savage definitely appeared at both. Yeah.
Okay. So I had Bret Hart.
So you only need 3, don't you?
I'm gonna throw one out there. It may seem like an oddball one. Dustin Rhodes.
No.
Okay.
Starrcade and WrestleMania.
Are we saying Scott Hall and Razor Ramon are the same or different? Because did they appear at both?
I'm
Or
just
did
looking
he
at you.
appear
See,
at
the
both?
problem is they haven't given it to us as an actual list. They've just got it in a paragraph, which is really fucking
Oh,
Oh, that's annoying.
that is very annoying.
He's not on this list.
Okay.
Who was the one
I
you
mean-
picked? Sorry.
I said Scott Hall, Razor Ramon.
Yeah. See, I find it hard to believe that he wasn't at Starrcade.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
Not according to this,
Like-
he was.
Kevin Nash then probably. There's no way he wasn't on a Starrcade.
Not again.
I'm gonna say Rick.
Oh, wait,
Rude.
sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. We have it here. So this idiot website has separated the paragraphs with another article.
Oh, what?
So, right.
Oh.
So, okay, let's start from the top. So we got Roddy. Sorry for everyone listening at home. This is an
No
awful
worries.
segment. I do apologize. So we have Roddy Piper. That is correct. Who else did you say?
We had Bret Hart.
Bret Hart is correct.
Hogan.
We had Hulk Hogan.
That's 3. That's correct.
We said Savage.
Savage.
That's 4. That's correct.
Sting.
Sting. That's 5. That's correct.
Ric Flair.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
Ric
has
Flair.
to be right. Yeah.
Yeah, Ric Flair, correct. So that's
I
how many is that? 6 or 7?
6. I think that's 6.
And
Okay,
then
cool.
Kyle said
So Dustin
Nash.
Rhodes is correct, by the way.
Oh, yay. So
Yeah,
that's
so
7.
that's 7.
So you got 2 more.
Then Kyle said Kevin Nash.
No,
Okay.
Really?
I find that hard to believe.
There's no way Nash did wrestle at a Starrcade.
That's what I find very hard to believe.
I'm gonna say one, and I don't know if he wrestled at WrestleMania. Vader?
No.
Okay.
No, he wrestled at SummerSlam. I know for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that
SummerSlam-
was when I was iffy about. Like, did he actually wrestle at Mania or?
SummerSlam
Okay.
96 with Michaels. I remember that.
What kind of queers the field with this is they're saying legends, but then Kevin Nash would technically classify as a legend.
Oh,
but-
definitely.
So no. So the only other 2
Okay.
names I have here now, I apologize for anyone who's watching because there's probably more.
Is there the
But-
Ringmaster? Stone
No,
Austin. Okay.
no. See, again, I'm pretty sure he wrestled at Starrcade with Pillman as the Blondes, the Hollywood Blondes.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, must have. Rick
You know what
Rude.
we will do for next week? We will revisit this with the entire list that I can find,
Sweet.
Yeah.
or we'll just do the Wrestle Plug quiz early. Fuck it.
Yay.
Right,
Like,
so there are 2 other individuals here that I have written in this article.
Starrcade and Mania.
now Starrcades were also, they go back like NWA, do they not? Or is this just
One of
WCW?
these is a bit cheap because he did not technically wrestle at Starrcade. I think he might have wrestled at some point, but he was a supporting role. So he was like a manager of sorts.
Not Jimmy Hart.
No.
Not Heenan.
Maybe it's people who are officially in the... Actually, no, because Kevin Nash is in the WWE Hall of Fame, so that wouldn't make sense either.
This is stump is not Legion of Doom.
No.
Fudge. I can't think.
Yeah, because I don't think Sergeant Slaughter did.
Nope.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be. I don't know if he wrestled at Starrcade. Eddie Guerrero?
Nope.
Okay.
You see, I would have said Benoit, but there's no way they call Benoit a legend.
When I say
way.
no, it has to be pointed out. Well, again, I'm pretty sure Benoit wrestled at a Starrcade.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I'm
definitely.
thinking. I'm thinking
pretty
now
sure-
of like the
Right,
cruiserweight
just so
division
we can clarify this, by the way, Wrestling Inc. is the article, and you would think they would have their shit together. But right now they have the written right here is 9 legends who appeared on WWE and WCW's biggest show. So this is my this is a terrible segment. I might have to edit it this way. So it is 9 individuals who appeared in the same year.
Oh.
My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. So you are missing 2 individuals, and basically all the names that have named. No, that isn't correct. So you're looking for. So that's my fault. I've really royally fucked this. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking for 9 individuals who have wrestled at WrestleMania and Starrcade in the same year, or been involved, because one of these individuals didn't wrestle at both in the same year.
Yeah. So to clarify, WrestleMania is usually like beginning of spring, kind of like end of March, April.
About March, April, and then
Starrcade end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but all the ones we've given are still correct.
Tanvir, stop googling it.
No, I'm not.
You can always hear him clicking in the background.
Sorry. I'm trying to think of main events of Mania and who could have.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be.
No, they weren't involved in the main event. They were just
They were just at the event.
They were part of the show. They might have been. One of them was a manager for one of these shows and wrestled for a number of the other, and the other one wrestled for both in the same year.
Starrcade's older than Mania, isn't it? Because it was also NWA. Like NWA, WCW.
I'm gonna throw it out there. It's probably wrong. Owen Hart?
No.
Okay.
Dusty Rhodes?
Dusty?
No.
Not in the same year.
No, fair enough.
Oh, fudge. It stumped me. See, I'm trying to think
Definitely
of Heart Foundation.
I'll give you a clue.
now.
One of them has been mentioned on this podcast already.
I'm going to say Dynamite Kid.
No.
Okay.
Was it Jarrett?
Jeff Jarrett.
Was it Jeff Jarrett?
Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
is number
Oh,
8.
damn.
And you're left
So
with
what-
one. A
So
WWE
that's the wrestler. This would be
Hall of
the-
Famer.
Hall of Famer.
That does narrow it down kind of, even though.
But when he got to WCW, he was in a management role.
Like behind the scenes or on?
Was
camera?
he? Was
On
I know he's a
camera.
Hall of Famer. Was he big in WWE or?
This guy was pretty big in WWE, I'd say.
Okay,
He also
so-
shares the same birthday as me.
Same birthday.
Oh,
Not
I'd love
that
it
it
if
means
it was Teddy.
anything to anyone, but I was born on January the 18th.
I'd love if
Okay.
it was Teddy Long.
That's eerily close.
Teddy Long, early. Wait.
You
Wait.
are
Teddy Atlas?
so warm, it's unbelievable. But not for the reason you might think.
Matt.
Because I'm thinking manager. Because you said what was it?
I don't know why I'm thinking of Psycho Sid for some reason.
Psycho Sid, no.
Yeah, you said one was a manager, one was a wrestler. Jarrett was a wrestler, so he's clearly the one that's a
Yeah,
manager.
Jarrett wrestled at both in the same year.
Wait.
This
Oh,
guy,
who-
99.
Who wrestled Hogan at one of the manias? I'm check. Was it?
I mean, a lot of people wrestled Hulk
I'm
Hogan at
trying to-
WrestleMania.
Fudge. What's his name?
the individual involved was a manager at Starcade, but I believe. Oh, actually, no, he was a manager at both.
Is the manager at both?
Now, I could tell you who he was supporting, but that would give it away.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But Teddy Long is the
Super
clues.
close.
It's very close, I think. Yeah.
Wait. Long.
And when you hear why, you'll know why
Teddy
it's so
Long.
close.
Theodore Long. Long.
I'm
I'm
just
just
watching.
trying to break down what
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
long. Oh, ruler. Oh, wait. Oh, Ming the Merciless.
Wait. Starts with L.
What I mean,
Wait,
that might not be true.
G.
I
Wait,
don't think it was because it would have been Tony Atlas out.
I'm gonna throw it out there because it's just come to mind. Lex Luger?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you got hyped there for a second. I saw it in your eyes.
Yeah, I was like mental gymnastics. I was like, is it Luger?
No, Luger was also never a manager.
Oh, I thought you
Not-
might.
I've
not
got
in the
a really
traditional
good
sense.
trivia for after this, by the way. So hopefully you're playing along at home after the terrible start. So I apologize for that. One man left. Do you want me to let you know? Because we could be here for a while otherwise. You have
Nah,
one
give
more
me, like-
guess each. It's a
Okay.
WWE.
Oh,
Famer.
is it the guy who managed AOP?
No.
Okay.
Which is Paul Ellering, by the way.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
blanked on his
Who?
name.
Do you remember when the NXT crowd chanted, "Who are you?" Fuck those guys.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Rachel
piece of
Ellering.
shit.
Yeah.
And then Kevin
Um,
Owens chastised them online, which I thought was brilliant. He's a WWE Hall of Famer. He was a manager to one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And he was also the manager in WCW of what many people would argue is the greatest faction of all time.
Oh, fuck me. Would that be
And
JJ
by the way,
Dillon?
in the same year, he was manager to the individual that many would say went on to become the greatest WWF wrestler of all time. And he was the manager for the greatest faction in WCW history.
Wait, I'm trying to think of
Would
Mr.
that be JJ Dillon?
No, but that is a really
Wait.
good shout.
Carl,
and he-
who managed Mr. Perfect?
He didn't manage
Was
perfect.
Oh, balls.
Not that I'm aware of. If he did, it was for a very brief run, but it's not prominent.
Because it was the brain with
I'll give you a
Mr.
clue.
Perfect.
He was the manager of the all-time what many people would say is the all-time greatest main eventer in WWF history before he broke out with what he was most famous for.
What the fuck?
You got 20 seconds, boys.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna like slap me in the face when I hear
Oh,
it.
definitely. I'm gonna be so mad when I don't get it, but I don't think
Yeah.
I know.
No, we're giving up.
Yeah, I'm tapping out.
Yeah. I'm tapping out.
Do you want you'll kick yourself?
Can you give us the name of the individual who you
No.
do? No, of like the wrestler. Who you
No,
were saying.
well, that will give it away.
Oh,
But
okay,
he
fair
was
enough.
rather famously the manager of the Ringmaster, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh,
Oh, it's Paulie Dangerously, isn't it?
No.
Ted
It was the
DiBiase.
$1 million man.
It's Ted
oh,
DiBiase,
fucking Ted
motherfucker.
DiBiase.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Ted DiBiase. Yeah.
Damn.
There you go. Right. Do you want to redeem yourself, boys?
Yes.
If you can name the 10 wrestlers that have main evented WrestleMania 3 or more times.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns is one.
Austin Rock.
Austin and Rock. There you go. That's
Hulk
Triple
Hogan.
H.
Hold on, because the list is quite long
Oh,
here, so
sorry.
I need to. It would be so much easier if I just wrote these down beforehand. So the Rock's in there. Who else have we got?
Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said Rock, Austin,
Hogan.
Hogan.
Reigns.
Reigns.
I said Triple
Undertaker.
H.
Undertaker. What was the
Yeah,
one you
I
said?
said
Carl?
Triple H. Triple H.
Wait 1 second.
He's got at least 3 that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, Triple H is second in the list with 7 main events at WrestleMania.
Okay. Did we say John Cena?
You said Hulk Hogan. He's number 1 with 8. Roman Reigns is number 3 with 6. Undertaker is number 4 with 5. Who else did you say? The Rock. He's at number 7 with 5. I mean,
we said
technically they're
Austin.
tied.
Yeah,
Austin
as well.
is at number 9 with 4.
You only had 4? Really? I
Did-
guess 3 with The Rock and 1 with Kevin Owens.
Did
Yeah, that's
Cena?
very true.
Did Cena have?
Cena's here. He's number 5 with 5 main events at WrestleMania.
Okay.
You're missing 3.
I get the feeling it's wrong. I'm gonna throw it out there. Randy Orton.
No.
Okay.
Well, Shawn Michaels,
Shawn Michaels with 5.
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart is in here
He's
with
got
only
probably
3.
4.
He had 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
I said 4, which is pretty good guess.
So we've got one left.
You got 1 left.
Main eventing WrestleMania.
I'm gonna say Brock.
Bingo. Brock Lesnar
Yeah, I
with
said it
5
had to be
main
Brock.
events. There you go.
Yay.
Something a little bit easier for you boys to get tucked into.
That was still fun though.
Yeah,
challenge that, man.
we should do more of this, shouldn't we? Do you know what I'll do? I'll start writing quiz little trivia bits for every week, but we're going to do a dedicated quiz podcast every month involving Wrestle Plugs co-hosts because
Yay.
I think I'm going to be very good at it.
you think you're going to be what, sorry?
I think I'm going to be quite good at that.
Well, if you turn up, yes.
Yeah.
I'd have fun with it.
There's a list here of every single one of John Cena's title match wins from worst to best.
Oh,
It's
I bet you his
28.
worst. Okay. I want you to tell me if I get his worst one.
Okay.
The worst one, Rey Mysterio.
No.
Oh,
No, I think his worst one was Great Khali in 2007.
No.
Actually, that's fair because he actually pulled a good match out of his last man standing match with Great Khali. I think it was Judgment Day 07.
But bearing in mind, this is a subjective list from Wrestling
Oh,
Inc.
definitely.
Number 28 at the bottom and the worst ranked title win of John Cena's career, according to them, is when him and The Miz beat core members Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater for the Tag Team Championships February 21st, 2011.
I don't even remember it.
I
But
do.
that's probably why it's near the bottom.
Dude, do you remember the core? It was after
Yes.
they broke from the Nexus and they're like, oh, we're all going to be equal now. And then
Taxi for the core.
The Apple Core.
Apple core is right, mate. Yeah.
I mean, his
The
best.
Cora.
I'm trying to think of his best. His best would probably be against AJ Styles at the Rumble.
Hold on, I need to go back. I was scrolling through for more stuff.
But
AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble was number 2.
Really? It was number 1 could have been JBL though. Because that
It is.
match was
They've
garbage.
ranked JBL.
That match is garbage. It lasted like 10 minutes.
It's because it's his first WWE title win, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's more so the moment over the actual match.
Yeah, I guess. But the moment and the match against
Yeah,
AJ
they
Styles
both.
for the 16th title.
Yeah.
That was his record,
Yeah.
quote unquote,
I
break
know.
tying win.
I know a lot of people with the John Cena AJ Styles feud, they prefer the Royal Rumble match. I love their SummerSlam match more. I
Right.
really love that SummerSlam match.
One more for you boys. It's not trivia as such. Well, I can either keep looking for trivia while you talk amongst yourselves, or we can decide whether we think these are these. So I have a list here of the most legendary wrestling feuds of all time, and you can either tell me yay or nay, or I can look for an actual bit of
Let's do
trivia.
that. Let's do
wanna do
yay or
that?
nay. I like
Yeah, I'll do the feud one.
All right, so this, according to Wrestling Inc., is a list of the most legendary wrestling feuds of all time, and we start with Ricky Steamboat versus Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel Bryan versus The Authority.
I'll say yay as well because
I'm going to say arguably the most overrated.
I'm going to say nay.
I'm gonna say yeah. The moment was unreal.
That was the thing. It was more
Actually, no, because the match at Mania was really good, but the title being held up all the time was garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of times he got stitched up was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was just, it was so over the top that I just lost interest.
Yeah, I've talked myself out of it. It's nay.
Mitsuharu Misawa versus Toshiaki Kawada.
You know I'm absolutely all for
Fucking
this.
Mark.
It's so incredible.
I don't know, but I want to say.
I bet the matches are fucking gnarly.
Oh, I bet you they
They're like-
slap.
Yeah.
When people say about Kenny Omega Okada being like the first 6-star match, no, Misawa Kawada was the first one that Meltzer gave, and it is so fucking good.
This could divide the room. Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar.
Nay.
I'm gonna say nay because
Started off really well.
Which
if anyone
one?
remembers the Hell in a Cell match from 2000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that 2003 or was that?
Oh no,
more
this
recent,
includes
like-
their entire time against each other.
I'm still gonna say nay, but it started off super hot, like you said, at No Mercy, and then definitely went down the shit.
Something that will truly bring joy to Carl Wilkinson's face. Kevin Steen versus El Generico.
Oh, my Canadian heart can only bleed so much red and white.
it's the fact it's still going on to this day.
Yeah, it's probably the greatest long-term storytelling that's gone beyond one company that I've ever seen.
The thing that I love
That's clear. Sami Zayn and El Generico are clearly two different people. I know what you mean.
Yeah, shut up, Tanvir.
Well, we know Steen and Owens are the same person, but Generico's off in an orphanage somewhere, I think.
John Cena versus Randy Orton.
I'm gonna say yeah.
I think I would argue the most overrated rivalry in history, that it was just shoved down our throats.
Yeah. I gotta go with nay on that. I can't.
Sting versus the NWO.
The problem is he ended up joining Wolfpack, so I'm gonna have to say nay because if he had stood alone the entire time, I would say yay, but he didn't.
I don't know enough, so I'm gonna say yay.
Tommy
uneducated.
Dreamer versus Raven in ECW.
Yay.
Who versus Raven?
Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a yay.
Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah. Screwjob.
Yeah, but that's the that's that in therein lies the problem.
What is just
gonna-
that? I mean, they did meet each other a lot. Don't forget WrestleMania 12 Iron Man match.
Yeah. I'm still gonna.
I mean,
it
from a
breaks my heart.
personal standpoint, arguably the greatest rivalry. If you're talking about non-kayfabe, like they hated
Yeah.
it.
I think I'm gonna say nay, and that breaks my heart.
Wow. Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada.
I mean that's a yay.
Yeah, so yeah. It at the time it was just so good.
Bruiser Brody versus Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh yes.
You want to talk about violence?
Violence at its peak.
Hey. Go back and watch those matches. They are something
So
else.
good.
They look like proper shoot
If you're
fights.
squeamish, don't.
Yeah, no, don't. Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage.
Mega
Yeah,
powers.
breaking up with the mega powers imploding is tough.
And number one on the list, and pretty obvious for anyone who has a brain, Carl Wilkinson, you can no doubt tell me which one it is.
I mean, it's gotta be Rock Hogan, doesn't it? Or not Rock Hogan. Rock
Rock
Austin.
Hogan, get in the
I'm
bin.
Fucking so tight. It's Rock.
Rock Austin.
Rock and Austin, yes.
And that's-
My way.
And yeah, gotta beat you. Gotta beat you more than I've needed anything more in my life.
It's still the greatest promo for a match ever. because it's still. It's like you mentioned a great match promo. People just say my way, and you know what it means.
Yeah, it's undeniable.
You
Absolutely.
think you're special.
So, would you like anything else, or do you want to call it a day there and go to any other business?
Is there anything else?
There is a list of the most disturbing wrestling matches ever.
That sounds
Oh, yeah.
interesting. Can we do a quick preview of something?
Sure.
Impact Hard to Kill.
All right, we'll do a preview of that, and then we'll go to any other business. What we'll do, however, is we shall record straight after this for separate videos a few of these lists.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Let's do that.
We'll
Yeah.
start a new segment called the Wrestle Plug List, where we debate whether these lists have credibility or not.
Ooh,
So,
I'm up for that.
I assume you've already got the card up.
Yep, there's 5 matches so far.
Oh, really? We're previewing a show with 5 matches. What is this, TakeOver?
What are those?
When is Hard to Kill?
It is Friday the 13th of January.
Oh,
Spooky.
we're a bit early, aren't we? It's the 23rd of December.
We are 20 days early.
All right, then tell us what the card is. We won't preview it, but we'll take it.
So I think you mentioned at the beginning of the pod, Josh Alexander v Bully Ray in the main event.
No, thank
If
you.
Josh
What a
Alexander
waste.
loses, I'm gonna kill myself.
That
I've
will
said that a
officially
lot.
kill Impact Wrestling.
Oh, it will. If
Oh,
Bully Ray
100%.
wins, it'll end Impact. They've built all their credibility up on this, and then if you have Bully Ray win and win, that's it. Like, I'm done with Impact.
Bring
What
it
else
back,
is on this
TNA.
Match number 2 on here is title v career, Jordan Grace versus Mickey James.
That'd be great.
I think that'll slap. That'll slap.
I think that
Do we think this is where Mickey James's career ends?
I think she wins it.
I don't.
I think
She's
she
been going a
wins it.
while, hasn't she? She's gone a lot longer than Ric Flair did when he retired.
Yeah. I think
Although technically Ric Flair, well, yeah, less said about his retirement, the better.
I think Mickey James wins it so that whoever beats her gets like a 2-in-1 of like, I'm the one who retired you and I won the belt.
Giselle Shaw, mate, that's who should beat her.
That's who I think it should be.
One of the coolest human beings. I love Giselle Shaw so fucking much.
Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. What else we got?
Third match, Eddie Edwards versus Jonathan Gresham. That should just be a good match.
It's all right, but it's that thing of like,
They-
Jonathan Gresham for me is so superior to Eddie Edwards in terms of technical wrestling. Eddie Edwards is a great wrestler, by the way. He's really underrated, but is he still doing this stupid Tommy Dreamer fucking hardcore gimmick thing with the kendo stick and that? They need to get away from that, because that has been fucking boring for the best part of 3 years.
See, I want that to be good, but I've seen Josh Alexander and Jonathan Gresham, and it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, it
You'd
didn't.
think that
it was
would
at
be
the last
5-star,
Destiny
hands
show I saw.
down, wouldn't it?
No,
Yeah.
it felt like it dragged.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah, it was upsetting as well.
I think they tried to be too clever and go too long.
I don't think it went long enough.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if maybe
I
Jonathan
assume that
Gresham,
was
one
a
of them might have
Destiny.
been hurt. Yeah, I don't know if one of them might have been injured or something going in, and I want to keep it short, but it did not feel very good.
All right,
Okay.
Tanvir, what else we got?
Then you've got the fourth match, which is a fatal 4-way tag team elimination match, which sounds very fun. You've got Motor City Machine Guns.
Yes.
That's a win.
You've got the major players, Brian
Who?
Myers, Matt Cardona,
I'll get in the bin.
Heath Slater and Rhino.
I like Heath Slater a lot, and Rhino is a great worker.
And then you've got, I think, my favorite tag team going at the moment, Ace Austin and Chris Bay.
They're great. Problem is, there's only one really legitimate tag team there, in my opinion.
Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, you could argue for Cardona and Myers. They did win the tag titles at WrestleMania, but
Are Bay and Austin Bullet Club?
They are.
Yeah, they are Bullet Club, and they were in the final of the Super Junior Tag League, which is huge.
They lost to Yoshihashi and Leo Rush, didn't they?
Leo Rush, so Yo and Leo Rush.
Oh, Yo and Leo Rush. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun
No,
match.
I don't think they all look the same before somebody sends me a fucking message about that. And then what's the fifth match?
A fifth match is one that might excite you. It's
Excite him or arouse him?
It's the X Division match.
Get on with it.
Trey Miguel versus Black Taurus.
Oh, that's gonna suck. Yeah, those two can't wrestle for shit. Right. Rubbish, mate. Rubbish. Especially Trey Miguel, mate. He's got no talent whatsoever. That'll steal the show easily.
Yeah.
That easily steal the show. Like, obviously, I'm being facetious. No, those two are gonna fuck. I love Black Taurus, by the way. I think he's so fucking good and so underrated. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Yeah, not bad. Not much of a preview though, because there's only 5 matches. So shut up, Tanvir.
Okay.
All right. Any other business before we wrap it up? Anything you boys have been up to? Anything you want to talk about? It's Christmas in 2 days. Anyone?
There was an announcement yesterday, but
what announcement?
Don't know what it was. Do you know anything about it?
No idea. Probably something fucking useless involving some bald-headed, glass-wearing gimp.
Go on.
Carl Wilkinson doesn't actually know, I don't think. Or does
I
he?
do. I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
Okay.
obviously.
Well, I'm dismayed by your lack of marking out, so you can suck my dick.
I'm a piece of shit, but that doesn't mean I don't know these things.
Yeah, Wrestle Plug Pro was announced yesterday. What that entails, we do not know.
But we gotta find out.
We go find out.
Yeah, we are.
Gotta learn it. Maybe not today, but you gotta learn someday.
Well, it's Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, so have a great Christmas. Whatever you're doing. What are you guys doing? Anything fun?
Got family over. Should be nice.
Look at you showing off with your family.
Sorry.
We're in the midst of a giant snowstorm hitting us again. So
fuck you and your well-adjusted lifestyle.
Yeah, what's that like? Piece of shit.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
On our level.
Oh, I'm so special. I have talents. Fuck you. You know what? Just coming on here, rubbing it in.
I'm sorry.
Also, I don't want to be racist, but
I may have family. I may have family, but Carl's got weed, so who's the real winner?
I was gonna say, Carl's sitting there like, family. Yeah, fuck that shit. I got weed and I got dollar. That's all we need. Yo, Cameron Anderson, right? Fakest gangster on earth. Carl Wilkinson, legit gangster. Lives in a basement, has weed and dollars, got a hoodie and a snapback. Ticks all the boxes, mate. NWA remake incoming.
Kyle is Jesse
straight out
Pinkman.
of Ontario.
Canadian Ice Cube.
straight out of Ontario. Crazy motherfucker named Kyle.
Ice Cubes are mandatory in Canada, mate. Especially right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're getting it's snowing super hard, but it's like still plus degree, like plus
I'm
Celsius.
told that
We're gonna
apparently you had
freeze.
is that right? So one of my friends told me recently that Canada had a -55 wind chill or something.
I mean, it's possible. I don't think I've ever had.
Fucking, that's like Antarctic levels of cold.
Yeah, I would definitely mention if I ever had Antarctic levels.
Turn maple syrup into maple jelly. Like, that's unbelievable.
It would get so cold that like molasses.
Is there maple syrup jelly?
I don't know.
You guys just put it in everything.
I mean, it's injected into my veins for sure.
That's fair. Tanvir, anything to say before we wrap it up?
I haven't got anything.
Thanks.
Just Merry Christmas, everyone. If you celebrate
Merry
it.
Christmas.
If you celebrate it.
Yeah. If you that's such a that's why AEW Dynamite was called Holiday Bash and not Christmas Bash. And then somebody, I think it was Adam Wessex, implied that Vince McMahon owns the copyright to the word Christmas.
What the
That's why in wrestling. I've got this image of Vince McMahon like, shut it down. I own Christmas, you son of a
I own Christmas.
I owned Chris Kringle, my dick, Linda.
Linda's Mrs. Claus.
Oh, God. Can you imagine? Nobody wants to see her box, Christmas box. I don't care how many bows you put on that box. That is a wilting present.
I mean, Trump might be interested, but...
Yeah, you grab it by the pussy. Fuck you, Donald Trump, you prepubescent, man-child, tangerine-skinned, leathery-faced cunt. Hey, guys, that's all I got. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful Christmas from everyone involved at WrestleBlog. If you've been offended by any of this content, first of all, it's 18 plus. Second of all, you have a choice. Good. And third of all, go fuck yourself, you fucking melts. You know what? We've always been this way, and we continue to be this way. It's an uncensored, unfiltered platform, as it always will be. WrestlePlug Pro, however, will not be. It will be a family-friendly establishment, and we will make sure that we adhere to a certain amount of rules, including our first ever main event, which will involve Carl Wilkinson versus Tanvir Verdi in a maple syrup death match.
I mean, he's already lost.
Yeah,
Who, Cam or me?
He's not very good at hearing, is he?
That's why. That's because I've filled his head with maple syrup.
I said Kyle Wilkinson versus Tanvir Verdi.
Oh,
And he goes,
That's
who, me
you.
or Cam? Oh, you're fucking hell.
I'm
Ladies and
sorry.
gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the State of Wrestling Address. We will catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Blog.
So put your hand down. You can't do that.
Yeah, you're not part of this club.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not a gangster rapper from Canada. Get out of here. MC Pharaoh coming at